Moving to the city's center, there are wide, beautifully landscaped boulevards that run right up to the banks of the Saigon River. It takes only 15 minutes to go by car from the airport to this area that sees both high-rise buildings and old-fashioned houses. Nong Khoi, uprising, formerly called the Cantina between 1865 and 1955, while the city was under French colonial rule, was once a place reserved for the posh French only. After entering one interesting-looking handicraft store, Hiep and I are greeted by friendly Dirk Sluiski of Germany, who settled in Vietnam and opened this store with his Vietnamese wife nearly 10 years ago.
We have cheaper ones with
the owners collect and sell handmade products from ethnic minorities all over Vietnam and family businesses in the city. After traveling and selecting embroidered patterns, the couple works with designers to find the best way to market them to the public. Taking a nice stroll to a fountain, Hiep gives me some context to where we are.
Over there is Dong Khoi Street, and here we are in Nguyễn Huệ Street. Yeah, actually Nguyễn Huệ Boulevard is one of the most beautiful and largest boulevard in Ho Chi Minh City. During the Lunar New Year, it's become the flower street. Yeah, very beautiful.
The city's main post office and Notre Dame Cathedral, located side by side, are among the most attractive tourism spots in Ho Chi Minh City. The post office, built between 1886 and 1891 during French occupation of Saigon, exemplifies French architecture of the time. Today, it's a buzz with activity of locals and tourists who jointly appreciate both the beauty of the building and its functionality. Notre Dame Cathedral was completed in 1880 and is another iconic building of the city's center. All the materials used to build the cathedral, from the cement to the steel and the screws, were transported from France. Its Romanesque Gothic architecture, its original interior, and rare antiquities draw many worshippers and tourists.
I've had a really nice time walking around the downtown area of Ho Chi Minh City. These shops and beautiful architecture that inspire so many photos have been a really nice chance for me to see the dynamic quality of what the city is today. So behind me stands Viet Nam Market, one of Ho Chi Minh City's most character-defining places. The market has run out of this building for nearly 100 years, and some friends have told me a lot about the market, and I'm really curious to see what's inside.
The original market was located on the shores of Ben Nye River by the old fort Gia Dinh. In 1859, when the French invaded Saigon, Viet Nam Market was destroyed. It was rebuilt shortly thereafter and remained there until 1899, when it moved to its present location. Upon entering the marketplace, Hiep and I are hit with the aromas of cooking food swirling amongst the packed landscape of both the typical watches, sunglasses, and jewelry, and atypical wigs, figs, and dried squids. There is so much to see, especially for the first-time visitor, and it can certainly overwhelm. But taken one stall at a time, the market's charm is easily accessible. Outside the market is another wave of very different smells, this time fresh flowers and fruit. I'm intrigued by the pungent and infamous fruit that I've heard so much about, so we've decided to buy a durian.
95.000, ok.
95.
Qua bên kia lấy đi.
Em trả
Lấy gì?
85.
Không được, 95.000 đúng giá. Không nói thách.
Though the smell is overpowering, I try it anyway, and as for now, my small bite is enough to satisfy my curiosity for a while to come. After spending the whole morning wandering around the city, we find ourselves quite hungry for lunch. Hiep suggests a Come New restaurant that is said to have a unique style of presentation, and it does not disappoint. More than a creative presentation, the way that our rice is served in an earthenware pot is nothing short of a performance. One waiter tosses the bowl in the air, shatters it so the crispy rice disc falls, then tosses it across the room to another, who catches and juggles it on the top of a plate while incorporating a fancy somersault, before plopping it on the table and quartering it for us. Luckily, some minor errors of the disc landing on the floor a few times demand a do-over, and we get to watch again. After lunch, Hiep and I visit the Viet Nam Pagoda in Nam Ki Khoi Ngia Street. It's the largest pagoda in the city, built between 1964 and 1973 in typical 20th century Buddhist architecture. Viet Nam Pagoda is also a campus of the Ho Chi Minh City University of Buddhism, where classes are held each week. A large bell inside a temple was given to the Vietnamese by Japanese Buddhists during the American War in Vietnam to symbolize prayers for peace. In addition to the main sanctuary, there is also a 7-story Japanese-influenced Huan Yin Tower. It is located to the left of the pagoda. We catch wafts of burning incense as monk Zak Zum walks Hiep and I around the inside of the pagoda. He points out the materials used to construct the building, the giant statue of the benevolent Buddha, and the worshippers who come twice a month to practice together. Before leaving, Monk Zakzum introduces the symbolic ritual of bird release. Because liberation and life are key components of the Buddhist faith, setting the caged birds free represents the act of salvation. The tiny bones of the birds feel delicate in my hands as the three of us toss them into the wind and watch them fly away.